I see one of the biggest transfers of wealth happening in the history of the world. I see, everybody is talking and going down this rabbit hole of we're going into a recession, all of these things. If we can just put out the proper education out there as traders, as people that study this type of stuff, to help people just even understand this, a recession is nothing other than a transfer of wealth. And if people just understood how to position themselves at the forefront of these economic movements, they can actually come out way better than how they were before they even go into them. But with that comes proper education.
What is going on, everyone? I'm Anthony Williams, and we are back on another episode of Trader Society Podcast. We have Mr. Grant Hardy here. We also have the CEO of Driven Trading, Mr. Cory. You want to go ahead and give yourself a little bit of introduction to one of these cameras?
All right. What's up, guys? Good to be here. Super excited. Thank you guys for having me on the show. I know it's going to be a good one, so let's get into it.
I love it. So, first off, how long have you been trading now? Overall?
9 years.
9 years. How long did it take for you to become profitable?
First 30 days for sure.
I was like, oh shit, this is going somewhere else.
No, definitely not. It was actually probably, first, I would say 2 years before I really got good traction. Now I made money, lost money, made money, lost money, right? Went through all those ups and downs, but instead I got, getting really good traction. I would say I was probably about 2.5 years in. I almost even quit a couple times, you know what I mean? Because, you're blowing accounts and doing all those things, but probably 2.5 years before I really got that good consistency.
Okay. I've noticed that that's kind of like the power range. Like it took me four. But I noticed like 2.5 years is kind of that like a very common, consistent power range of like that's when people really start becoming.
If you stick with it and you're with it every day and paying attention for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's tough too. It's tough.
And so this is gonna be a little different because I know you don't trade Forex only. I know you started Forex and you started in stocks, correct? And then you went to Forex. Now you trade what exactly?
Futures. So I trade the S&P 500 E-mini futures market. I would say 90% of every position I take in the market is in that.
Okay. Why did you choose that over like the Forex that we know or the traditional Forex?
Well, guaranteed liquidity fill at the exact price point, zero spread, zero slippage, different trading mechanisms like in trading domes, different things like that I really like to use, and a much bigger risk to reward in a short amount of time. See, one of the big things is, when I was a Forex trader, I was getting a good 1 to 4 risk to reward on the majority of my positions when I really got it down. Well, that same 1 to 4 risk to reward happens in 15 minutes in the futures market, where my typical day, if I'm in a 45-minute position, I can get a 1 to 12, 1 to 14 risk to reward versus doing that in the Forex market. It's a little bit more choppy, a little bit more inconsistent. And, when you have to pick that one market to focus on, it was actually my mentor that introduced it to me and said, why are you messing around with this Forex stuff? He's like, there's a whole nother market over here where you can get really good leverage in and still at the same time have a much more consistent approach to trading. That's what really kind of took my deep dive, and I just made that my, magnificent obsession, as you would say.
Right. So I have a question. So
Sure.
you said that you're 90-10, right? Futures, Forex. And you already sold me on the futures market.
And I was going to say, we should probably learn futures.
But why would you choose to trade that other 10% in the Forex market? What's there for you?
It's actually not the Forex market. It's more crypto. You know what I mean? So I do some crypto stuff. I mean, and then sometimes like when those good swing opportunities happen in the, like GJ, something like that, something that's going to be a big runner, maybe 1,000-point move or something like that, I'll look at. But it's not really like my main squeeze. I'm not looking at it. There are times in the market where, the futures market could be just ranging sideways for days. And if you want to get some action in, you're not just going to sit there for days and maybe not trade, especially when I was in the money management space too. It's like, you can't just not have any action on your portfolios if this is what you're doing, right? So that's where I would be looking for different positions, maybe in Forex or, maybe NASDAQ or different markets that are in correlation, US 30, stuff like that. So it's not always S&P 500, but sometimes, US 30, exact correlation, NASDAQ, exact correlation. In fact, if you put the charts next to each other, it's the same chart.
Interesting. I've been wanting to look into futures. I've been wanting to trade futures, but I'm so comfortable with the Forex market. So I'm going to have to go check out Driven Trading to learn some futures market. So
So do you want to explain what driven trading is for the audience?
Yeah. So ultimately, when I got started in just entrepreneurship itself, I was a 21-year-old kid. I was kind of broken, right? I was working $10 an hour cash for a construction guy, washing dishes for minimum wage on the weekends, $7.25 an hour. And I got introduced to the direct sales network marketing industry. Totally changed my life, right? Everybody said it wasn't going to work. Everybody said it was a scam. I made it work. I had nothing to turn back to. So I really pushed hard, stayed in the industry for 6 years, made my first $1 million in that industry.
What was the first company?
It was Mona V. So it was a juice company, right? It was actually at that time, it was the fastest company to $1 billion. I just caught that wave of momentum as the term in network marketing. And I caught it, right? And I did really well. And I went into the coffee space and was kind of bouncing from product to product. Things weren't working out. And so for me, I always had a really good love for that industry because it really kind of made me who I was as an entrepreneur. I learned a lot. I got all my mentorship there. That's what got me into the world of personal growth and development, where I started, studying and implementing all those things I was learning. And I carried that out into traditional business and consulting. And then when I found trading, it was like, whoa, I can apply all these skills that I learned about mental discipline and toughness and patience and all that stuff to trading. And I think I got through that curve and stuck it out because of that. Mm-hmm. So there's always a lot of substance there for me. So when I looked and evaluated the industry of trading as a whole, spending my life behind a computer screen for the last, 5.5, 6 years, managing money, it's not the most fulfilling job, right? It's like I'm out 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, making rich people richer. And I was making money, and I was doing, more financially than I think I ever have. I was at the peak of my career in 2019, and I started to look at the industry a little bit different. I was getting ready to partner with a big broker to bring trading education to them. And it didn't work out because they wanted to charge unreachable prices, $25,000 for entry, $3,000 a month on a 12-month contract. And then you look at kind of these direct sales companies that are going with a much more gentle approach. The problem that I saw was nobody was actually delivering the substance that people were signing up for. So ultimately, I'm like, I don't think it would be that hard to create one of these companies and actually do it legitimately. They're giving people the upside opportunity of being able to generate income from a vehicle to where they can have more money to trade. They can put money in their brokerage accounts. And at the same time, why is it so hard to deliver actual substance in this industry? So we chose that business model, launched an academy, put together a team of very, very high-end professionals. Like I picked, hand-selected each person in each niche that was a master in their craft, whether it be, the top DAX trader, the top NAS trader, the top US 30 trader, the top crypto trader that I could find, put together a team, run that team like a Wall Street hedge fund. Like if I had $1 billion and I had a group of traders, they wouldn't be competing against each other to make that fund grow. They would work together as a cohesive unit. That's what we put together at Driven to bring education to the world, but actually teach people how to do it the right way.
So your substance that you're bringing to people is the education on how to trade.
Absolutely. Yep.
I love that. That's incredible. I mean, I can say that because I started with network marketing. Like a lot of my entrepreneur, besides selling drugs, but it was selling drugs and network marketing. That was what I did, to really into that entrepreneur world and that's what entered me to the trading world, and so
You sold drugs?
Hell yeah.
I didn't know that.
I ain't gonna lie. I've been there, done that too, man.
Every great entrepreneur sold drugs at one time.
I was just gonna say
I promise you. And so, but it's it's a cool, it's a cool thing. And that's why I still have a soft spot for network marketing. I think it has a bad rap, especially in the Forex space. But
sure.
I think if you can do it right, it can be done right and you can really help people. The problem is you have all these companies, I think, trying to promise too much, and you have all these marketers promising too much. Yep. You're gonna come in and you're gonna make $100,000 your first fucking month. It ruins the industry. It's no, in reality, that's not what is gonna happen. So education forward is the key.
Yeah, I'm all about the realistic outlook on everything really in life, especially in trading, because there's so many lies that are portrayed with it. So with your trading and your education, how does that work? Are there courses, or is it live teaching? Is it futures only? How does all that work?
No, so we ultimately have everything, right? So it's you want to learn stocks, we have a stock program. You want to learn futures, we got a futures program. You want to learn Forex, we got a Forex program. You want to learn indices, price action, anything that you want to learn, crypto, beginner to advanced. We take the most basic level of understanding the markets all the way to the most advanced level of understanding the markets. And we put it all together so you can come in at wherever you're at in your trading journey. Even if you are a good trader and you want to go to the next level, we have information for that, right? So it's ultimately an all-in-one solution that we can bring to the market. And our goal as a company was never to say, hey, listen, we want to be that company that goes and focuses on the build, right? All these network marketing companies that I've seen, and even a lot of the gurus out there, right, that are selling courses, it's like they're selling people the idea of making money in the markets. And ultimately, they don't understand that if you don't actually know what you're doing, you're really hurting people, man. Like you're doing so much damage to them because they're believing in you. They're believing in what you say. They're thinking that this is actually going to work for them. You sound smarter than them, right? So they're trusting you, and then they end up cashing out their 401ks and their IRAs and doing things.
Thinking they're going to make money fast.
And they lose it all. Yeah. And they're so broken. They're losing everything, right? Selling their vehicles to try to pay their bills. And I've seen it, and it's very sad. So when I put it together, it's like, I think that the network marketing distribution model is one of the top models in business. I really do. I think intellectual distribution is the future, sharing knowledge about products and services that can enhance your life that you didn't know existed. So if you actually have real substance behind it to where not only are you don't have to share your upline's results or your uncle's results or the guy that made money 2 years ago, you're sharing your results. And if you don't feel good about those results, I don't want you to talk to anybody about our company or even approach anybody from a business building standpoint. But if we lead with the education and our objective is to create professional traders first and then a network marketing back end as a byproduct to where, people are going to wonder how you changed your life. Now you have the opportunity to get monetized on it. That's where the industry is amazing. You got a $300 billion industry over here. You got trillions of dollars traded over here. If you can catch the intersection of those, the innovation that can happen is mind-blowing for people, right? And I've seen it happen, right? So that's why we kind of took that approach. That's why instead of going direct to consumer, we said, we are direct to consumer, but let's have these people have upside too. Once their life is changed, once they're trading live money, once they actually have the substance that they can share, let's be able to monetize that person for sharing it with their friends.
So it's all about the transparency
for sure
of it.
Totally.
I love that.
That's where we're at. That's why we're doing this. I mean, our last episode we literally just talked about straight up like selling everything, like pretty much selling everything and being as open as possible.
Keeping it real, right? So so your whole goal is education, building new traders, right? What is your advice to these new traders that are first starting out, where they're looking? Because I've always said, someone that wants to learn trading, whether it's stocks, anything, I say learn from everyone, right? Everything you can figure out, and then once you figure out what works, kind of trial and error, start cutting it out. So what would you say to all these new people that would be joining driven trading that are looking for that education, trying to learn, trying to start?
I actually think that we take a little bit of a different approach. What I would do is, yes, we start off with a broad perspective, but we don't start off with here's the charts, let's throw them in your face, right? Because I think that even the best people at understanding the financial markets and understanding price action, if they don't have that mental discipline piece in place, we're human, right? We make errors a lot. We're emotional beings, right? We're not algorithmic computers on Wall Street. We're humans. So even if we're the best technicals in the world, you still are going to see those people failing over and over and over again, thinking, man, I'm so accurate, right? I'm making 80% on every single trade, 80% accuracy month over month over month. Oh, I know this one's going to go here. And then boom, they're in super over leverage. They blow their accounts or they lose 50%. And now they're discouraged and all these things. So we kind of start off with that mindset of, listen, you're joining this company. This is not a get rich quick scheme, right? Everybody wants to look at these companies and say, oh, it's a get rich quick scheme. But then if they don't get rich quick, they quit, right?
They call it a scam.
They call it a scam, right?
Right.
And it is not designed to be that way. And I think that a lot of people out there in the trading industry, the teachers, the gurus, the networking companies, they put out this false narrative that these people are going to get rich quick and it ruins the industry. What we do different is this. It's a process. You're going to go through a process. You're going to go through a process of emotions. Mm-hmm. You're going to go through a process of, finding your path, finding your niche. And once you find that process, and we look at your allotment of time, right? Do you work a 9 to 5? What are your hours you're going to be able to put in this? What is the allotment of capital that you have to get started with? And based on that, we kind of help you select a direction of this is the market or this is the area that you should focus on because it fits the criteria of where you're at in your life right now. And then we have you focus on that. We assign that coach and mentor to you in that area. We say you should follow this person because that's exactly when they're trading. That's when you can learn from them. That's when you can ask them questions. And we kind of actually have them have a single focused mindset. It was actually one of the biggest reasons that I actually stopped trading Forex. I got stuck in the scanning all of these different currency pairs, right? I had like my top 16,
Right.
right? And I'm like, man, I'm just like shuffling through these all the time. And I was like kind of creating like havoc for myself. Then I narrowed it down to 3 and my results changed drastically.
I've been saying that for weeks. I'm going to do that.
It was amazing, right? I mean, it was amazing the results I was getting. But now imagine this. For the last 6 years, I've been staring at the same exact chart 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, year after year after year. Do you know how the S&P 500 moves? Probably better than most people ever, because it's the one single chart that I focused on. And there's so much money just in that one market. It's where I focus. So if I know that was my path that got to me to the point to where I'm at, it's kind of the path that I try to put other people onto. I don't try to select their let's just say I don't try to select their asset class for them.
Right.
But I put them in a position where they have enough information to select it based on where they're at in their life.
Right. I love that. Because there's a whole process of trading, and one reason I love it is like you have to figure out so much about yourself before you can start being profitable. You know, control your emotions and your reactions and decision-making skills. And so I like that aspect of it, that, look, here's everything now, and I think the next step is very personal.
Oh, yeah.
From what you're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100. It's very personal. You need to figure out yourself before you can figure out trading, and that's why like I also do like the multi-level marketing side of things, is because at the end of the day, like, am I a huge fan of MLM? Sorry, not really. But at the same time, the one thing I can say is that they force you to work on personal development, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. MLM space, at the end of the day, is all personal development. It's becoming better.
Yep.
And like that's a huge thing. That's like and it relates directly to trading. Like I tell people all the time, one of my big quotes, one of the biggest sayings that I always say, and everyone knows this, is that if you want to become a successful trader, first you need to allow trading to break you down and then also build you back up.
Yep.
And you have to do that in trading. You have to let it break you down. You have to let it kill you. You have to let it destroy you. Because the moment that I think you realize that trading doesn't give a fuck about you.
That's right.
It does not give two flying fucks. You know how many people I've talked to and they've been like straight up like, well, I'm hoping it goes up here because I'm on my last $100. And I was like, yo, that market doesn't give a fuck what you have.
That's right.
It don't give a fuck.
Kiss that $100 goodbye.
Yeah, it does not give two flying fucks. And so for me, it's like, it's all about personal development. It's all about mental. Like, it's all about building this up here. And that's how you're going to be able to come to that next level and grow and succeed. And so that's why, like, the one thing I do like about MLM is that aspect of it, is that there's personal mentorship and personal growth. And that's like what really builds companies too.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. And I'm also somebody that hates MLM. Like the traditional MLM, I don't like it. And it's a lot of like what is behind the companies. And what you'll find is the majority of the company owners are either people that were field distributors at one time that are trying to step into the ownership role, but they've never run a business, right? Or you have the people that they don't really care about people. They'll make you feel like they care about you, but they don't. They just care about you as long as you're an asset to their wallet. That's really the only things about network marketing that are really broken. Or you have companies that are underfunded and they go out of business fast, right? The model
takes
itself,
a lot of money though.
Oh, it does. It does. It absolutely does. And especially if you don't know how to manage business properly, you're going to burn through cash fast, right? Really fast. That's why the majority of companies fail. In fact, 1 out of 1,000 companies fail every 5 years. 1 out of 1,000 makes it to the 5-year mark. 1 out of 1,000. And that's how many companies are actually starting up. 1 out of 1,000 companies will make it to the 5-year mark in network marketing. And we see them. We see them popping up everywhere all the time, right? But to run a company consistently, you have to know how to run a business consistently. You have to have a really good operations team. You have to really be able to put your funds into the foundation, right? And then you also have to have something that's self-sustaining, right? You have to get the business to a point of break even, not even profitability, just break even as soon as possible. And you get there by actually delivering something that's tangible, where you're not cycling through people so fast, right? Because you have to have a monster.
You have to maintain them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have to have a monster distribution force if you're going through people if your average turnaround rate is every 50 days, where somebody's in and out by the even time their next order goes out or next auto ship goes out, you'll never sustain a business that way unless you have hundreds of thousands of people that are bringing in all that momentum. But what if you take a very small organization actually give them the value that they're buying for and focus all your attention on the value that they're actually signing up for, they're going to stay with you.
Right.
And if you have an 80% retention, 70% retention, you're going to be able to move very quickly in that space. Like I said, I don't think the model's broken. I just think that there's a lot of broken people that are trying to run the model, and that's what we see as, this is why I don't like MLM, because we've all been burned by them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So like I know I've done a couple, and after the first couple of weeks, I'm like, I can't do this because I don't believe in the product or what the company's doing, and I honestly haven't done one in years now. And you say that Driven, right, is different from other MLM companies. So what makes Driven different from these other companies?
Everybody says the most cliched thing in network marketing is we're different than every company. This is just what we do that's different. We actually focus on building the trader, right? Like we're a trading MLM. There's a lot of them, but we actually focus on building the trader. In fact, I don't care if any of the people that are in our network ever recruit anybody into the network at all. That's not the mission of the company. We created the model to where when they do get results, if they do want to share with other people, well, they can go build out a network just like an insurance agent would or a realtor would or anybody would. It is a great model for distribution. Great model. So I tell people all the time, I don't even want you to talk about the Driven business model until you've actually figured out how to trade first. Like that's where we start. That's your starting block. So I think a lot of the other companies are hung up on, we need you guys to be recruiting people, otherwise we're not making money.
So you literally
we don't need money.
in order to basically do it, you basically have to be profitable.
Yeah, that's what we like, right? We want you to actually believe in the company before you go tell somebody else about it. We want it to be authentic when it's coming from you, like purely motivated based on your experience.
I love that.
That's awesome. That's a great approach.
It is, and at the end of the day, that's what you kind of have to have. But I think the one thing that you did differently is like, you brought on traders that have actually been trading for a long time, not builders. That's the difference. Is I do think there is okay.
It's fine. It'll dry.
It's fine. Well, I was thinking this, but Trader Society towel. We need those now.
Oh yeah, right.
No, but what I was like getting
to. I get a royalty on that.
What I was thinking though is that there's a difference in a builder and a trader and a CEO, and that's like a huge difference. And what I've learned is a lot of these MLMs, their builders are not traders, which is fine if you do it right. But the problem is you have builders going out trying to find builders to build other builders in the MLM space instead of building traders. And that's so it's like, I don't know, there's a hard mixture there. And there's a lot of companies right now that are like wanting to build and grow, but it's like you need spend the money on traders.
Yep.
And then the builders will come naturally.
That's right. Give them a big upside. Give the traders a big upside where they can actually see that the value that they add here in this community is going to set them in a position to where they feel like they're a part of it. They feel like they're an owner of the company, right? Mm-hmm. And another thing, too, is I think a lot of the companies out there are run by CEOs that have no clue what the financial space even is at all. And they don't realize how much harm they're really creating in people's lives, like I was saying before. I'm actually somebody that gets live with our community 3 days a week, 10 hours a week. I trade my live accounts in front of our entire audience and help them learn how to trade as the CEO of the company. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you don't see that out there.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's what we do. We get on basically every day a week. One of us is on,
Yep.
And
same thing that we do.
Yeah. And
over at Trader Society.
Yeah.
That's how you build that trust and that, like everything that we do is completely open.
Yeah, we try to be as transparent as open as possible. So if you like the MLM side, go check out Driven Trading. And just make sure you're following us and all the fun stuff. All the fun stuff. So what is your goal? What is your goal with Driven Trading?
That's interesting. So I have a lot of them. So one of the main goals is this. So I think that if you want to be disruptive in anything, you just have to set yourself apart in a big way. So that was one of the things, like for you guys especially, right? You guys run the company, you run Trader Society, but yet you're showing up as the faces of that company when you don't have to, right? Same thing for me, right? I'm running the company, I'm doing all the day-to-day, I'm doing all that stuff, working the 80 hours a week, pouring everything I have into it, but I'm still showing up to show them that I do actually do this, and you can actually have this life or this lifestyle, or you can actually get these results. The intentions that I have are this. I see one of the biggest transfers of wealth happening in the history of the world. I see, everybody is talking and going down this rabbit hole of we're going into a recession, all of these things. If we can just put out the proper education out there as traders, as people that study this type of stuff, to help people just even understand this, a recession is nothing other than a transfer of wealth. And if people just understood how to position themselves at the forefront of these economic movements, they can actually come out way better than how they were before they even go into them. But with that comes, proper education. So as a company, our goal is to educate as many people as we can. Like if we could go out and build an organization of 1 million people, and we are impacting so many lives across the world, making it available for everybody that we can go in to any country, anywhere in the world, and take somebody that's never looked at a chart before in their life, and within 90, maybe 120 days, have them at least have a general understanding of how powerful this will be if they stick it out. I think that we could change a lot of lives. The mission for us is to impact people's lives. We're not in the business of selling courses. In fact, somebody comes in, they're not satisfied, and they say, driven's not for me. I don't even care how long it is. We'll give them 100% of their money back, right? We're not in that business. We're in the business of adding value and creating impact and change. So for us, I'm not going to say, my goal is to be the next billion-dollar company, like you're going to hear a lot of the CEOs say. My goal is to be the company that stands the test of time. I want to be in business for a long time. We do everything above board. We do all the things right. We have really good attorneys that make sure that we're on the straight and narrow all the time. Because if we're going to build a foundation, it's not about being the fastest company to 100 million, the fastest company to 1 billion. It's being the company that's going to be around here in 20 years from now, right? That you can be proud of representing. So our main objective in Driven is simple. We want to change your life, period. And I think a changed life is the most precious commodity in the world, right? So I don't care if it's through the personal development that we offer. I don't care if it's through the trading in itself. I think you'll learn enough in our company by being mentored with the people that we have in our community that will absolutely set your life up for great success. And if it's just you feel better about yourself when you're hanging out with us in our community, then we're making an impact on your life.
Wow. Oh, so
Man.
me.
You, yeah.
That's awesome, Mike. I love that. It's the truth. That's what you're supposed to do, and that's kind of why we at Trader Society have kind of flipped the script of like not buying the next car, not doing all that other shit. It's kind of more of just like
Literally a completely different approach,
Sure.
like you said. Like, yeah, I mean, you just sold yours, but like, yeah, we could do it if we wanted to tomorrow, but it's like, I don't like, that's not just because you have certain things or doesn't mean that you have anything, life figured out. Like, we want to get people that actually want to learn. And I think that's honestly, like, even within our, like, I'll be completely honest, like, even within our Discord, people will be, asking all these things. We want people to understand why we're posting what we're posting, to understand it, not just to take the trade.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Not like we want them to get on our lives and understand why we do the things that we do, what we're seeing, why we're reacting this way, instead of just like, oh, well, I want to take this and I don't get why we bought here, but like, can you please answer my question? Like get on and try and understand.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I think that if you keep being a crutch for people, they're always going to rely on that crutch, right?
100%.
That's why people say, well, I'm going to go to this automation thing that's running all the time. Go to the automation thing. You're just going to end up in the same spot when it fails, right? Like until you actually learn the skill and learn how to do it yourself, you're just going to put yourself in the same situation over and over again.
Right.
And
you go ahead.
I was saying, here's the thing is that people, like, there's a lot of people that act like it takes so much to get there or that it's so hard to get there that they'll never get there. It's like, don't say that, because I've gotten there. You've gotten there. You've gotten there. Like, it can happen. Like, It can happen to anyone. I'm a high school dropout at 16. You said you dropped out of high school.
16.
He's the only one that finished high school.
I didn't go to college.
You didn't go to college,
I mean,
but, you finished high school.
Yeah.
So it's like, it can happen to any of us. We can do it. Like, if we can do it, everyone else can do it. Like, 100%. You can all do it. Like, it's not.
This is my thing, right? Like, you just talked about, recession, right? And there's inflation, all this. The more value that you add to yourself as a person, I'm not going to say the less you worry about that kind of thing, but the more protected you are.
The more you rely on yourself.
The more you rely on yourself.
Totally.
And that's the most important thing in life is, like, don't rely on other people. Like, don't, even for, people buying our signal, don't just rely on us to call trades. Understand why we're doing it. Learn, rely on yourself, So I really do. I love the approach your education on like, we don't even want you really a part of it till you start seeing the results that we're offering, or, you know, that we're trying to teach you.
For sure. You know, I say this all the time to our community. It's like, I don't think there's any skill more essential to the American dream, or any dream for that matter, than learning how to make money with money. If you just understand the financial markets in itself, every time they say, oh, there's a recession, or this is happening, if you know how to read the charts, you know how to read it, and you
can change a lot.
You can change a lot. Number one, you'll never be afraid of anything ever. Oh, the basis points and all this stuff, right? Everybody panics about that stuff. But when you actually know what it means, for us, I'm sure I can speak for all of us, that's opportunity for us.
Yeah.
We make the most money when these things happen, right? Yeah. Basis point hike, we know what side of the market to be on. Forget about it. These are when we make the most money. And when we go into a recession or sell-offs or anything like that, as a trader and somebody that knows how to forecast the economy, it is pure profitability. There is nothing else. It's one skill that you can learn, and it doesn't matter what happens in the world, unless the markets go away for sure. But I think we're gonna have a lot more to worry about than that. Right?
Yeah. If that happens, we're strapping up.
For trading days.
Yeah, we're strapping up really big.
Right. No, there was a guy at our last office before we moved up here. Remember at the mall above the Apple store?
Yes.
Remember that one?
Yes.
Right, when we first moved back to Arizona, he was asked us what we were doing. We were in there, you know, shooting videos for Top Tier and all this other stuff, and then, you know, I got charts on our computers, and he's like, you know, what do y'all do? I was like, oh, we trade Forex, you know, we basically day trade, swing trade, all that. And he's like, oh man, you know, I had a buddy did that, and a bear market came, and it really screwed him up, and he lost a bunch of money. And I told him, I was straight up told him, I think Conrad was there, and I was like, it doesn't matter whether it goes up or down, we trade it. No, man, I'm telling you, you guys are saying that now, but once this bear market comes, like, y'all are going to get wiped out. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. He didn't get it.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. I love it. And so before we got in here, you told me a few things. Y'all are doing a lot of work in the metaverse as well, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in a big way.
Do you wanna tell the audience real quick, what are y'all doing exactly over there?
It's kind of top secret, but I guess we'll let it out. No,
this is what we can't talk about.
No, just kidding. So, you know, I see a big shift that's taking place in the world right now, right? Everybody's seeing these Oculuses, Meta, right? Facebook changes its name to Meta. The metaverse and what's going on there, it's a big deal, right? It's a big deal, and that people that aren't paying attention to it, they're going to get swept right fast. I don't know if people have seen the movie Ready Player One or anything like that, right? I don't think that we're too far off from heading down that direction. I think that, you know, your life in the meta world is going to be ultimately what you focus on for a lot of people. I also think that there's a very dark path down that road, right? You talk about, like, we don't want to get like too sappy, but, you know, maybe like New World Order, globalist stuff, or elitist stuff. Like, put it this way, when they have the ability.
Oh, we can talk about that all day.
Yeah, we can talk about that. So let's go there for a minute. Think about this: if they've been brainwashing us our whole lives through television, all the things that we watch, can you now imagine when everybody's going to be living their lives through these headsets of the narratives that they're going to be pushing down, and people are ultimately going to be more addicted to this life than they are to crack? I mean, I totally see it. They're going to lose everything for this. So what if you could actually put up the opposition to that, right? Like, what if you could do it? I'd probably get hit, right? So if I ended up on the suicide list, I'm not suicidal, just so you know. But what if you could put up the opposition to that? Like, what if you could actually say this? Hey, listen, we'll pull you into a meta world experience. So we're building our headquarters in the metaverse. We're building a 15,000-person stadium in the metaverse right now. Imagine you as an individual, you want to come in and learn how to trade from one of our educators, and I can pull you into the office of the CEO, and you can be in Australia. I can be in Arizona, and you could sit across my desk like we're having a conversation just like this. You don't see me reaching across, touching him, or hitting his hand or anything like that. We can have a real life experience. We bring in the human connection back into the digital space. You can change a lot of stuff there. You can pump people into a classroom. You can educate them. You can teach them trading. I could pull up charts right in front of you. I mean, the amount of advancements that are exciting. We're launching the first car dealership that's going to be in the Drivenverse. So we're doing a lot of stuff. But what Driven itself is, Driven is a company that's global, right? We're in 120 countries. We want to expand all around the world. I can't have the same experience with a lot of these people if they're not in the United States. They can't maybe make it to our events. But in the Drivenverse, the meta world experience that we're creating, we can actually put them in a stadium, and we can have an event like they're sitting right in Raiders Stadium, watching us speak, watching us come out. Everything is the exact. I could be sitting right next to you right here, and you and I are having a conversation like we're sitting there in real life next to each other. Yeah, it's digital. You're in your living room, I'm in mine. but it's as real as it can possibly get. We're actually launching all that stuff in August, as far as I know, in the MLM space and in the trading space. We're the first company to do it at this level. It's going to be pretty magnificent.
Oh man, when's the first event? I got to go get an Oculus.
We're going to the
It's gonna be
first
cool.
event.
Absolutely.
You're gonna be there. We're all gonna be there. I love it, man. That's so incredible. So with that being said, make sure you are checking out Driven Trading. Make
It's
sure
also got hats. It looks like, right?
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
I got the hats. I got the hats. Go check out driventrading.com. Make sure you are following him on Instagram. What is your Instagram?
Economic Alpha.
Economic Alpha. And then we got Granny over here. What is your Instagram?
_ Grant Hardy.
And I am _ ANTHONYSWORLD _ Make sure you're also following Trader Society Official on Instagram, and make sure you are subscribed, you are liking this video, you are commenting on this video, and you have that notification bell turned on so that you can be notified every time we drop one of these podcasts every single Friday morning. Every single Friday morning. So with that being said, let's go, let's grow, and let's have fun.
Let's do it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes,
I appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you, guys.